Hi guys, today we are going to start with talking about how to convert customary units. To begin with, we're going to start right here, reviewing what a rate is and what a ratio is and all that stuff. So a rate is in which two terms are measured in different units. And then the steps that we're going to use today include three basic steps. Number one, you're going to set it up as two equivalent ratios. Number two, you are going to cross multiply. And number three, you are going to divide. Sometimes you may not have to cross multiply. Sometimes you may not have to divide. And I'll show you some exemptions. This right here is on your reteaching page. It is a page I would definitely keep, and I would definitely look over and try to remember some of these numbers. We are going to be using them throughout this unit. So we're going to start right here. I'm going to start with number one. Number one, as I have 36 inches, equals we don't know how many feet. So if I were to come back to this previous slide, it would show me that 12 inches is in 1 foot, right? So right here, I'm going to put that. I'm going to put 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay. How many inches do I have in this problem? I have 36 inches. How many feet? I don't know. I need to figure that out. So now at this point, I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So 1 times 36 is 36. 12 times x is 12x. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, I've done my cross multiplying. Now what do I have to do? Now I have to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. So 12 divided by 12 is 1, so I have x on this side. 36 divided by 12 equals 3. Perfect. That wasn't too hard. It was a little bit of a step-by-step thing, but it wasn't too hard. Now let's look at number 3. Number 3, it says 5 pounds equals question mark ounces. Well, I've got to put pounds somewhere and ounces somewhere. So I'm going to put it like this. So what do I know? Look at the top of your paper. I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. Do you see what I did? I put the pound on top. I put the ounces on bottom. Now I need to put what I know. Now I have 5 pounds. So pounds goes on top. I don't know how many ounces, so I'm going to put X on the bottom. At this point right here, I am going to cross multiply and divide. So 1 times X is X. 16 times 5, let me pull out my calculator and I'll tell you. 16 times 5 equals 80. So because I had 1 times X, in this case right here, I did not have to divide because if I'm dividing by 1, I'm getting the same answer. That was not too hard either. So this one right here, my answer would be 80. Let's look at the next one. I have miles and feet. So I'm going to put miles and I'm going to put feet. What do I know? I know that 1 foot is 5,280 feet. Or, I need to switch that around. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Now, what else do I know? I know that I have 1.5 miles, but I don't know how many feet, so I'm going to put X right here. This one right here is I cross multiply and divide. 1 times X is X. 5,280 times 1.5 is 7,920. Now I'm done with number 5. Let's look at number 7. I'm trying to remember what the measurement is. Oh, this is tons. I look at uppercase T and I think tablespoons, but it is tons. So I'm looking at 1 ton. I'm putting tons on top, and I'm putting pounds on bottom. How many pounds is in a ton? There's 2,000 pounds in a ton. Now, when I'm looking here, I've got 2 tons, so I'm going to put 2 on top. How many pounds? I don't know, so I'm going to put X on the bottom. Now I'm going to say, okay, I've got to cross multiply. 1 times X is X. 2 times 2,000. 2 times 2 is 4. And I'm going to bring my 3 zeros down. So this one right here, 2 tons is 4,000 pounds. Let's look at number 9. I've got ounces and pounds again. So I'm going to put ounces on top, pounds on bottom. So what do I know? I know that 1 pound has 16 ounces. So I'm going to put that there just to start. Now I'm looking at this problem and I have 64 ounces, but I don't know how many pounds. So I'm going to put X on the bottom. So now at this point, I'm going to do 16 times X, which is 16X. And then I've got to do 1 times 64, which gives me 64. Now I have 16x equals 64. This one, now we've done our cross multiply. Now I divide, or I can ask the 3 questions. What's my variable? It's x. What are they doing to x? They're multiplying 16. How do I do the opposite? I divide by 16. So I need to divide both sides by 16. And so now I've got 16 divided by 16 is 1, so I have x. 64 divided by 16, if I enter it into my calculator, I would get 4. Okay, so now let's look at number 11. So gallons and pints. When I look at my chart, I see that gallons is 4 quarts. Okay, so 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Okay, but I've got to make another conversion. So I am going to put 4 up here, okay, and x. So now I've got to say, okay, 4 times 4. Here, let me redo that because that's a different way I organized it. So 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times x is x. So now I know that 4 gallons is 16 quarts. Now I've got to convert from quarts to pints. So 1 quart is 2 pints. So I have 16 quarts here, but I don't know how many pints, but I need to convert to pints. So 2 times 16 is 32 equals 1 times x, which is x. So 4 gallons is 32 quarts. Not too hard, right? That one was a little bit tricky. So let's look at number 13. I have 6.5 pounds, and I don't know how many ounces. So pounds, ounces. So what do I know about pounds and ounces? I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. But now I've got to come over here to 6.5 pounds, and I don't know how many ounces. So I've got to cross multiply and divide. 1 times x is x. 16 times 6.5. Let me turn on my calculator again. 16 times 6.5 is 104. So 6.5 pounds is 104 ounces. Let's look at number 15. I have 4.5 quarts equals how many cups? I don't know. So let me first start with what I know. I'm going to go from cups to pints. So I know that 1 pint is 2 cups. Okay? I do need to remember that. But I'm going to let that be for right now. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, okay, I know pints, but I don't know how many quarts or how many cups are in a quart. So I'm going to say, okay, let me start with quarts and cup and pints. So in 1 quart, there are 2 pints. And I have 4.5 quarts. And I don't know how many pints. So now I'm going to do 1 times x is x. 4.5 times 2 is 9. So I know that there's 9 pints in 4.5 quarts. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, okay, pints right here. So I'm going to put 9 on the bottom. X is how many cups because I don't know how many cups. So 2 times 9 is 18. 1 times x is x. So there's 18 cups in 4.5 quarts. Now we are going to skip right here, and I'm actually going to have you guys do this 2 through 16 as your practice problems. Let's go to our next one right here. This is reasoning. A vendor at a festival sells soup for $1.25 a cup or $3.75 a quart. Which is a better buy? Well, how many cups are in a quart? We just figured that one out. There's 4 cups in 1 quart. So I've got to do 1.25 times 4. And this one right here is $3.75 a quart. So let's see, what's 1.25 times 4? 1.25 times 4 equals 5. So which is a better buy? $3.75 for a quart or $5 for a quart? Well, obviously $3.75 is a lot better of a deal. Okay, we're all done with today's lesson. I do want you guys to work on your assignment. I want you to work through your practice and have a great day. Don't forget, math is not about the answer. It is about the work.